Hi there, thanks so much for joining me today. For today's workout, you'll need a pair of hand weights and a band with handles. So we're gonna get right into it, starting with a chest fly to a skull crusher combo, all right? So big muscle groups that we are targeting here are the pecs, all right, your chest muscles, and then your triceps, so the muscle on the back of the upper arm, all right? So things we're thinking about here, opening up the arms only as wide as you can, control the weight and you don't feel any unusual strain, all right? And then you're gonna try, when you get those arms together, elbows over the shoulders and then just bending at that elbow joint and then reaching those arms up nice and long. Remember, we always wanna add in our breath with our movement. So where that is here is an inhale, exhale, close, inhale, bend, exhale, extend, inhale, open, exhale, close, inhale, bend, exhale, extend. So remember, as you breathe out, those abs go in. As you breathe out, those abs go in. So indirectly, we're also working shoulder here and the stabilizing muscles of the shoulder to be able to handle that weight as those arms are out there in that vulnerable position, open, getting ready to hug, and then also stabilizing the shoulder while the elbow bends and we extend the arms overhead. Moving on to the next exercise. So this is called prone swimmers. It's a mobility exercise, and you want to think about little parts that we do first. So first, I'm just laying here breathing. You want a little towel underneath your head so you don't smother yourself to death, okay? And then I'm just breathing. You'll notice, especially that right elbow, how it's dropped considerably as I just like lay here and breathe and allow the weight of my arms to fall towards the mat, okay? My goal is to get my elbows to the mat. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Maybe that's just what you work on in this exercise right now. The next piece is going to be to pull the shoulder blades together and then lift the palms off the back. If you are not able to lift the palms off the back, that is where you stop. So your exercise is just that piece of pulling the shoulder blades together, lifting the elbows, and lifting the palm off the back. Now, if you're able to lift the palms off the back, then you might be ready for a little bit more of this exercise, right? So again, between each rep, you'll notice I take a nice rest. I really try to make sure that those elbows for me get all the way to the ground. Then I pull the shoulder blades together, lift the elbows, lift the hands, reach the arms long behind me. They're in internal rotation. I'm going to rotate them as they come alongside my body to a T and then to a Y, an external rotation with those thumbs up. They internally rotate to come back down. And I touch those hands together and then I lower the elbows. Again, nice big deep breaths here, trying to get a really good rest before I go again, because this is going to be my last rep. I'm only doing 3 of these. You really shouldn't be able to do more than like 3 to 6 if you are really doing this exercise as it is, intended to be done. All right. So again, pull those shoulder blades together, shoulder retraction, lift the elbows, lift the hands off the back, extend those arms. They're an internal rotation. We're going to rotate them into external rotation through the T, through the Y. Thumbs are up at the Y. Then we internally rotate through the T back to the arms. I'm trying to lift my arms as high as I can as I take them around, bring those hands together, and then rest the elbows. This is a doozy, okay? So remember, try it in parts first, all right? And keep practicing. Yes, it's difficult. I'm glad it's over. The last exercise here in our upper body focus is going to be a dead bug, right? We know this one. We love this one for the core. We're adding a little bit of complexity by adding a band to it. So the start position should be challenging. We've added this band so that in the start position, you're already having to use your serratus anterior, your lats, that shoulder stability. Probably you're going to feel some pecs there just to maintain, right? And then as a traditional dead bug, we take one arm back as the other leg reaches forward, right? So the arm and the leg, opposite sides, reach in opposition. So the really fun thing about this, right? I say fun because, movement is my thing, is the added challenge now of having to keep the wrist over the shoulder, right? Of one arm as the other arm reaches back. And so in your setup, you want to make sure that you're far enough away from where your band is, so that when you reach your arm back to the position you want to reach it in, you still have a bit of tension on this band. You can see here I'm using a yellow band, which in the group of bands that I have, this is the lightest band, and I am using that on purpose. One is because for you guys to see me do this exercise, I have to have that band coming from above. But if you have that door anchor or something like that, really just place it maybe like a foot above your head, okay? Again, I place it high so that you can see me in frame in this exercise. All right, so remember, wrist over shoulders, knees over hips to start, and then we're reaching one arm and leg in opposite directions, trying to keep that other wrist right over that shoulder. And I let it all go and it hit me in the face. That's how I roll. All right, moving into lower body. We're doing a hip hinge into a row, and then we stand and we do a hammer curl. Okay, so remember, hammer curl just means that those palms are facing each other during your curl. All right, and we're doing this compound exercise. So one, that it gets the heart rate up, and two, a little bit of coordination, a little bit of mind body. All right, so we are going to hip hinge, inhale, exhale, row, inhale, stand, exhale, bicep curl. All right, so again, we hip hinge, exhale there for the row. As we stand, we exhale for the bicep curl. You're getting a little 2 for 1 here with that row because you are getting a bit of bicep as you're also getting the back. Now remember, I'm about halfway here. This is why I turned for you. So when I row, I am not thinking about pulling my shoulder blades together. I'm thinking about pulling my elbows up and back. I lead with the elbows like it's like a bow and arrow. And then I'm kind of feel like I'm wrapping my elbows around my body. All right. So that's the feeling that I am going for when I am rowing. Nice flat back. And then stand pulling the hips forward so I can get a little bit of ham and glute there and that little coming up for my hip hinge. All right. And then remember, for that bicep curl, elbows stay by the rib cage as you curl. Don't let them swing back. It can put your shoulder in a compromising position. You'll be internally rotated. Don't let them swing forward. So elbows stay right in by that rib cage on that curl. Moving into the next exercise. So I am using my little apparatus here to put my foot against, but you can totally put it against a wall or mirror. When you're beginning this exercise, so a beginner in this exercise, which is the way I'm doing this, is give me like a 90-degree angle with your knee. And then that foot that is against the wall, it is active. You are pushing back. So you should feel the glute of that foot that's pushing into the wall. Okay, it's super active. And then that standing leg, that working leg, we're pulling the knee forward and then we're pressing our body away from the floor. We're really the leg away from the floor. Okay, so there's work on both sides. I'm pulling the knee forward and then I'm thinking about pulling the back of my knee up my hamstring, up the back of my thigh, and then right up into that place where your butt and your hamstring meet. I like to call it the thas, okay? So my thas is burning. That's why I'm doing my little happy dance, okay? Buns are burning here. We're going to take it to the other side. Again, same setup, about a 90-degree angle with that knee. Now, if you've got this and you're crushing it, then start getting away from your wall and making that leg longer. But again, that heel has to press into the wall so that your buns on that side are working too. We're going to hip hinge, flat back, arms out for balance. And then we'll pull that working knee forward and then pull it up the back of the hamstring, back of that thigh, all the way back up into where your butt and your hamstring meet. Okay, so again, I'm being this detailed because we're not just slamming our knee back into the joint. Okay, we are not locking out or hyperextending that knee. There is a work in this whole cylinder, this muscular cylinder of your thigh. Okay, front, back, inside, and outside. Everybody's at the party. Okay. And again, just keep breathing. We're exhaling as we extend that leg up, as we push ourselves away from the ground, the leg from the ground. You don't want your chest lifting and lowering. So I actually think a little bit about lowering my chest as the leg extends. Again, hot, 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 fire, fire, fire. But I like to think the burning's not going to kill me. And I think about what I want my butt to look like this summer. Let's do this, people. All right, final exercise. We have that band there with the handles, and I have that kettlebell there just to act as a weight on the other handle so that it won't smack me in the face like it did after those dead bugs. All right. So right now I'm making sure my shoulders are square to you, my hips are square to you. I'm going to step a leg back. So whatever hand my handle is in, it's the opposite leg that's forward. That back leg is back. It is a lunge. Okay. So both legs are down. We're not doing a balance challenge right now. All right. And so I'm letting, as I lunge down, I'm letting my arm come in front of me. I am trying to keep my shoulder square. And then I am bringing it out to a T. So notice I'm not editing all this fidgeting I'm doing, and that is on purpose because I want you to see what happens in real time. I did not like the tension that I had with the handle. So I'm like, okay, I have to choke up a little bit. My first choke up, I realized that my thumb is down. My arm is in internal rotation. I want it in external rotation. I want my thumb up, just like if I was holding the handle. So I just changed how my hand was, right? And I kept it moving, right? So we don't have to stop. We don't have to make it a big deal. Just keep it moving. And you really want to feel that stretch from the back of the shoulder as that arm crosses in front of you, okay? So as you can see here, I'm just changing things over to the other side so that we can hit this final side here. And so the setup is going to be the same, shoulder square, hips square. I'm hoping that I put this in a better place here so that I can use that handle the whole time. And then again, as I lunge down, I take that arm across my body, hopefully feeling a little bit of a stretch through the back of the shoulder. And then I'm taking it out to a T. Now, if you want to make this harder, first thing I would do is take it to a Y. Okay. So that's going to be like a longer way for that to travel. It's going to be an increased range of motion. So make it a Y. Okay. And then keep the light band, right? This is a super light band. Then maybe you play with not a lunge, like you have that back leg floating. All right. And then if you're like, okay, I'm smoking this, then that's when I would say use a heavier band. All right. So how much challenge can I make for myself at this level before I decide let's make it heavier, right? But that's it. That's all we have. Thank you so much for coming, for working out with me. Please like, subscribe, and share with a friend. We will see you next time.